As time passes by, trees develop new things such as longer branches, newer leaves every season, they get bigger, and their roots grow deeper into the ground, just like a human does. A human goes through various of changes. As days pass by, they learn new things about different people or just experience new things. And it's even bad things, just like trees do. They experience bad things, just like invasion, getting cut off, and well, they don't give up. They don't die off right away. Their roots grow deeper into the ground instead, and they just stay standing tall, just like most humans do when an obstacle is thrown at them. And I'm part of one of those individuals. Instead of whining about it, I try to stand firmly tall. My feet ground, my feet firmly on the ground, and I remember my roots and values from my culture, but what my parents taught me, and that's what keeps me striving. It all started with a goal because my parents had this goal of coming here after they got married to raise enough money for they could buy their own house in Mexico. But I came along with my siblings. And my sister is a 13-year-old who is a very active, sweet, and loyal girl. And my brother is a little 2-year-old who likes running around and loves his cars. Love each When they used to ask me what I wanted to be grow up, they expected some doctor or teacher thing answer, but I answered with Tinkerbell. I wanted to be Tinkerbell because she was my idol. I know that with that she helped her friends out with problems that weren't even her problems. She just wanted everyone to be happy around her and just for them to be calm and stable with their lives. So after watching almost every movie of her, I decided that that's what I want to do. To help others in my community with every problem they have. So with this, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer to help those who don't have a voice, defend them, and just create justice in our system, which I believe it hasn't been really just lately. And I know that with accomplishing this goal, I will make my parents proud. Ask me what's my favorite place on earth. I used to say it'd be Disneyland because happiest place on earth. But after some time, I began to love my home. My home is my favorite place to be. The place to be in because no matter what I'm going through, like at school, stress and everything, I know that I will come home and there will be a smile on my face because there's someone at home that would cheer me up. Whether it's my 2-year-old brother, my mom, or my cousins, they just make my day a lot. Like there's one time came home from a long day, 2 exams. I'm pretty sure I failed that day, even though I studied all night long. Stress, projects, all of this in my mind. And I come home to my little 2-year-old brother with his arms open, running towards me and giving me a big hug with a big sloppy kiss on my cheek. And it was just the most cutest thing ever because not just that, he also gave me his cookies, which he doesn't share at all, which is I was grateful that day because I love those cookies. But I don't know, I just love my home a lot. Other than my amazing parents and loving friends, another individual that's important and has influenced my life has been my friend Eduardo Hernandez. He was this little timid, shy boy I met in PE class back in 7th grade. And I didn't really see myself talking to him until he started to ask me questions about what I was doing because I wasn't doing the right thing nor being what I'm supposed to do, and I was just not keeping it simple, like Dr. Carpenter would say. So he just asked me questions if I'm doing well and stuff like that, and that's when I decided that he cares, he loves me, and even he gets on my nerves with his corny little jokes, his puns, his egg puns, bad ones, his irrelevant comments. I know that he will always be there for me no matter what, especially after what he's seen I've been through, after he's listening to my ranting, and he still does. I just want him to know that I will of course be there for him. Like I will be there for him. I know he doesn't open up to me, and that's alright because no one opens up to someone that quickly, and I will wait. I will be patient, and all in all, I'm just glad I met him back in 7th grade. So 4 years strong with my friend Eduardo. I haven't really had like a big mistake, but I have learned some few lessons throughout my life. even like the most dumbest lessons ever, but I did learn something, right? Well, my Avid class went to Cal State San Marcos for an Avid field trip, and I was with my little group that which included Monica, Kimberly, and my best friend Jasmine. Monica heard that there's an art class that has a piano inside the room, so she was determined to go look for it. After 20 minutes of looking for it, getting lost and whatnot, we found it, but it was inside the building, and classes were in session. The hallways were full of giggles and laughter, especially mine. If you guys really know me, I'm a pretty loud person. I'm never quiet. Quiet. I'm never quiet. Well, that was one of my struggles basically. Keeping my voice low was like, Well, we entered the room, right? And Monica was showing off her skills and everything. Kimberly and I, we were laughing at Jasmine because she was struggling to play the piano. The room was filled with laughter within 20 seconds or 10. And then someone came inside the room and he told us to keep it down because his classes sessions. And we were like, oh, sorry. So we then decided to leave, and we were laughing and giggling around the hallways. And another teacher came out and just told us to keep quiet. At least 4 teachers told us to keep quiet because classes were in session. And that's when I knew that it's better to be quiet because or else you're gonna get in trouble, obviously. So I learned that I should stop being too loud and just keep it at a minimum. In this society, I now believe that parents are much more easier now. Like, for instance, some girl, she abuses her mom on live TV show and she becomes famous for that, and her mom doesn't say anything. If I were her, I would have sent her to some military school already. Or if my mom was like in her place, she would have like hit me with the chancla or the belt or something already to get my things together. But in my case, it's only my mom that's easiest because my dad is like totally opposite. Him and I, our relationship is falling apart, and things happen. But with my mama, she steps in with him, and I have our disagreements, our arguments, which is on a daily. But she steps in and tries to help me out to get him back again, or for him to get me back again. She's just there to help us stay together. She's like a bandage. In my opinion, she's a bandage because every cut, every wound I have, she's always there to cover it up and just to help me out with everything I need. And that's why I'm very blessed to have her as my mama, because she's the best person in the whole entire world. I wouldn't pick anyone before her ever in my life. Struggling at its finest. Many success that I've had was when my group and I, Eduardo and Elizabeth, and I, of course, went to Catella TED Talks. Well, it all started with Mr. Milky's little competition thing, and we struggled because we didn't know what topic to talk about to start with. We had our own different perspectives and opinions, but we came to a conclusion that we should do ways to avoid teen pregnancy. This was actually pretty easy, but Eduardo wouldn't take it seriously because of the word sex and all that. So this made Elizabeth and I frustrated. And not just that, but we had 3 slides. No one has ever had 3 slides. I personally haven't had 3 slides, so I worried and panicked because that's a little right. But at the end, I'm guessing we were pretty great because we made it to top 2 in his class, which then leads to Mr. Bautista's class. In his class, we only like 12 groups got chosen to present up in the theater, and I was actually nervous because everybody was doing pretty great, and I felt that I wasn't really doing great because when I came to my part, people gave me like that one look, right? And I was just like, oh my god. So I got nervous. But following week, I get a yellow slip saying that I made it, that we made it into the Catella TED Talks, and we start practicing the following week. I missed most of my classes for that reason, and it was actually a pretty great experience. I learned how to memorize things much more faster. I became confident and when I speak ish, and I learned about different things while I was practicing. I learned about people's background stories, their opinions on certain things and stuff like that. But finally the day came. It was Friday, and we were to present for for 2 periods, periods 3 and 4. I was really nervous. Third period, I messed up, but Elizabeth was there to reassure me that everything was gonna be okay. So I got back on my feet again, and yeah, that was third period. But fourth period came along, and I feel that I did pretty great in that one. And did much more better, and that's it. That was the day, and I felt relieved afterwards. I didn't have this pressure on me anymore to memorize word by word, and like all these 300 and plus people looking at me, 600 and more eyes looking at me. It was a hassle. And on Monday, I felt famous because they were like, "Oh my God, I saw you in TED Talks. You did great." I felt famous. I felt like a celebrity. Like, roll the red carpet, please. Just kidding. But I think this was a success that I've struggled through because it wasn't easy. People may say just like, "Oh my God, all you did was present," but it wasn't easy. We had struggles along the way, as you can notice, and well, I'm just glad that we did I overcome this struggle about speaking out in public, and we did pretty great, and I'm proud of our. This chapter came up, I was honestly lost and confused. I didn't know who I was, optimistic or pessimistic. So when Mr. Milky gave us that comparison thing about being pessimistic or optimistic, I was honestly lost. I just looked at my paper for like a good 5 minutes thinking of what to do, what to write, but then it hit me. I'm honestly a pessimistic person. Well, I'm trying to be optimistic, but I'm a pessimistic person. And I'm trying to recover from that, especially with my dad now, because my dad and I, as I mentioned before, we're having problems, right? And I used to whine about it, like get sad about it because, he's my dad. But as time went by, I then decided to look at the bright side. The bright side, because if I just stay there whining, crying about it, nothing's gonna get solved. I try to see this as a lesson to we can always start all over, that everything was gonna be okay at the end. That it doesn't hurt to try again, and that it doesn't hurt to speak what we have to say to each other if we can understand each other. So I'm trying to be optimistic on this obstacle, challenge, whatever you may call it, especially with the help of my mama, because she's always there for me. But as you can see, I am a recovering Eeyore. I'm trying to be Tigger. I am mostly Tigger at school, but at home I'm like a whole different person. But oh well. After living on Earth for 15 years and how I've seen our society has become, I've learned some valuable maxims, and I got some advice from other people. First advice that I give you guys also is that you come first too. I know that others come before you, but it's not all about that. If they're hurting you physically or emotionally, that's when you come to. Your opinions also matter. What you think also matter. You're also important. Basically, they shouldn't affect you in any way possible. And with this, you should also expect the unexpected. My dad has always said everything's part of the show. Whatever life throws at you, you need to catch it and just overcome it and just accept it, because that's how life is, right? But in order to overcome an obstacle like that, you need to be surrounded by those who make you happy. Being surrounded by those who make you happy is good vibes all the time. They make you smile even on your darkest times. They show you the light. That's in my opinion. And my most favorite one is, just like a flower, you will bloom and grow again even after you've been stepped on. I like this one because it's true. A flower, when you step on it, you step on grass, step on trees, something, it will grow again and come back and better. And that's how you should too. When people do you wrong, do you dirty, step on you, you should just like get dust that off your shoulders and just come back better. You coming back better is gonna make you stronger.